In today's video, I want to talk about the proper pronunciation of this word, which is focus. Focus. Oftentimes, I hear people who are learning English saying something like focus or something like that, and I understand why that is. And I think there's two reasons why people have a hard time saying focus. Well, maybe three. I think the first reason and the easiest reason to understand is that simply they've never heard a native speaker properly pronounce this word, and because of that, their understanding of the pronunciation is based 100% on the way that they're reading this word. And as we know, the English language is not pronounced the way that it is written. And often what happens is that people pronounce focus with the same vowels, the same letters, as they would use in their own language. And if you don't remember what a vowel is, I will remind you a vowel is a letter such as A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. So like I said, the first reason is that people just don't know how to properly pronounce it. They've never heard a native speaker pronounce the word focus. The other two reasons why people are pronouncing this word wrong is because of the O and the U. So the first reason is the O, the second reason is the U. Let's start with the letter O. And I realize that today's lesson is just about the word focus, but it's actually about so much more. And one of those things that I want to teach you today, that I want you to understand, is the pronunciation of the letter O. Now, as with any vowel in the English language, there are many ways to pronounce the letter O. But what I want to focus on here today is how we say O in a word like focus. I think that many languages would read the letter O in this word as all. And there's a big difference between the letter O and the letter all. You hear how the English version O is much longer. It's almost like we're stretching it out, O. I think that in a lot of languages, the O is very short and it's all. So do you hear the difference between focus and focus? So my advice is that if in your language, the letter O is pronounced all, then I want you to know that in English, the letter O is never pronounced all. So anytime you're reading an English word and you're pronouncing the letter O as all, then you are wrong. I'm sorry to tell you that. Maybe nobody's ever said that before, but that is true. That's wrong. That is not correct, and that is not how we pronounce the letter O. I'll give you a simple example, like the word go. I think sometimes people would say something like go. Do you hear the difference between go and go? And if you don't hear the difference, then look at my mouth. Look at how I am saying the letter O. Look at how my mouth is finishing the letter O. So I'm going to do it in English, go, and now I'll show you what I often hear, go. You hear the difference between go and go, or focus and focus? There's a big difference, isn't there? And by the way, if you like cars and you're wondering right now, hey, wait a minute, have I been saying Ford Focus wrong the whole time? Well, yes. Well, okay, let me say it like this. If in your country you say Ford Focus with a different accent, that's fine, because that's the way you pronounce it in your country. However, if you're going to be speaking English and you're going to be talking to someone who speaks English and you're telling them to focus, or you're talking about the Ford Focus, then yes, you would be saying it wrong. So, okay, now that we know about the O, that we say fo and not fa, now it's time to talk about the U. I think that in many languages, the letter U is pronounced oo. And I'm not sure if we pronounce it like that in the English language. Maybe sometimes. I'm not sure. I don't have any examples right now, but definitely in focus, we don't say that. In focus, it's almost like an ES, focus. And if you've seen my material, if you've watched any of my channels, then maybe you might know that whenever we have a word that ends with a consonant. Now, by the way, a consonant is the opposite of a vowel. So a vowel, again, is A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, and a consonant is everything else. So I want you to take a look at the word focus. The word focus ends with an S, which is a consonant. Before the S is a U, which is a vowel, and before the U is a C, which is a consonant. And what happens that I've recently figured out that I didn't know about for my whole life until maybe a few months ago is that whenever we have a word that ends like that, where it's like consonant, vowel, consonant, what often happens, not always, but what often happens is that we're not pronouncing the vowel normally. What we're doing is we're kind of ignoring the vowel, or we don't really care about the vowel. We're not focusing on the vowel. Even the word vowel, right? I'm not saying vowel, right? Because I don't care about the E in vowel. I'm like, it's almost like I'm ignoring the E. I'm saying vowel, vowel. And the same is true for focus, right? It's focus, right? It's almost like I'm just pronouncing the C and the S. Now, obviously, that's not 100% accurate, but at least it will give you an idea of what I'm talking about. That's why the word teacher and the word professor end the same way, right? Teacher is with an ER, professor is with an OR, but it sounds the same. We're not saying teach air, and we're not saying profess or. No, we're saying teacher, professor. So this is something that I want you to pay attention to in pretty much any English word, is that whenever we have a word that ends with consonant, vowel, consonant, then that vowel is not gonna be, we're not gonna focus on it. That's funny, I used the word focus. That was an accident, but a very happy and coincidental accident, and I'm glad I said that, right? We're not gonna focus on the vowel that's like the last vowel before the consonant, because otherwise it sounds weird. It sounds super weird to say something like focus. No, don't ever say that. Just don't ever say that. Please, for the love of God, do not say focus. That sounds terrible. It's focus, focus. Not only does it sound bad, but people just simply may not understand what you're saying. And I remember when I first started teaching English, and I was talking to my students, and they said something like, they need to focus. And I thought they were saying, they need to fuck us. And I was like, whoa, take it easy, man. Just, whoo. What are you talking about? Why would you say that? That's really inappropriate. And then I realized that they were saying focus, except that they just didn't know how to say focus. So that's why I'm making this video, so that you say focus and not like fuck us or whatever the heck you guys are saying, which is totally wrong. Don't do that. Sounds weird, all right? So practice it, because trust me, this is one of those words you don't want to get wrong, all right? We're very lenient, we're very understanding as native speakers, but there's certain words that just sound dumb. They just sound stupid, so don't do it. All right, just don't. So anyway, I hope you guys like this video today. Give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and write in the comments. Make sure to write your comments in English, please, okay? And I'll see you guys soon. All right, bye.